This is the whole thing. I didn't read many of much of the article, but I didn't see your name anyplace.
That's all Kevin's been building.
Is it mobilized 5 task forces to Klamath?
How big is Klamath?
Good, big, I don't know.
North of Bonanza.
I'm sorry.
It's north of, the fire is north of Bonanza. I was pretty sure that they wasn't gonna pull from us because we just received
Right.
two, so,
But they popped one now up around Turner by Salem. And it's drawn a lot of attention, I know.
Well, it's 5 o'clock, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order with our, starting our pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
John Foster,
Here.
Jim Stearns,
Here,
John Ellis,
Here.
Randy Court,
here.
and Craig Berry.
All right, today's meeting is to have a discussion about strategic plan and our planning process and everything. So with that, we'll go ahead and open it up. This morning's meeting, we handed out a couple of suggestions on strategic planning and everything. And had a chance to take a look at those over, and maybe we can start with that as some discussion points. But before that, Chief, do you have anything you want to discuss about the strategic plan?
well, I'll just say that, so I just gave all my paperwork away so that they can get copies, but it'll be coming back. I want them to be able to follow us through the conversation.
Okay.
I'm glad we're doing this strategic plan, and I'm glad that it's a group process like it is. I invited the employees, thank you for being here. I invited the city, they're not gonna make it to this one, but I'll invite them to future ones. I think this is a very important thing to get us all kind of thinking alike and heading down the same track. It focuses me on things I
All right.
welcome the program. And I read through those, but the stuff that you gave us, I think is right down the lines of what I was thinking. So I think that's a good start.
Okay. Jim, you've got your list. You want to start?
Yeah,
with yours?
I'd kind of like to, I noticed on yours that you talk about mission, vision, and values. And we've got a mission statement, and are we good with it? I mean, now's the time if we wanna.
It's coming back in the room and just, and I'll pass it around.
We've reviewed it a few times historically, and it seemed to fly.
Yeah,
Sorry, I think you documents earlier.
now's the time if we do wanna make changes to any of those things, it'd be appropriate. Like Randy said, I think it has served us well to this point, so I don't know if there's any need to do anything with it.
One of the things that I brought up, or the reason I brought that up, is that covering all of the things that we're doing. An example is boat rescues inclusive in what we're doing? And do we address that water rescues is an item of importance for us? If that's inclusive with it, or do we even need to add that? Just wanted to bring it up with thought.
Yeah, in one of mine, I talk about, district fire and life safety programs, because we do more than we do more than just fire. Put it like that.
Are we gonna review prior strategic plans? The current plan, are we gonna review that? And have that documentation?
I can provide it if you want.
That might, I mean,
That
that's
might be a good
that's a
start.
good place to start. I have time to grab all my notes today, but I think we've done this process in the past.
And the last time we did it, the chief developed and brought to us. And, I encouraged it to be part of the development. We had that discussion.
Seemed like it was heavy on purchases and things of that nature. That sticks in my mind, get this engine, yada, yada.
Yeah, and I guess my vision on a strategic plan is, we kind of say, this is where we're going. You know, we set the destination and the department sails the ship. And, you know, and so when you say things like, gonna buy a Type 3 engine in 3 years, well, that's good information. That's good to know. That's in my mind, not a strategic plan.
What makes a strategic goal any different than just a goal?
Well, I don't think it is. I think it's
Is it just a
it
pretty
is
word
goal.
that
It's
makes
just
it sound?
It's just
fluffy?
more of a, I don't know if I can answer that,
You know,
to be honest with you.
They're synonymous to one another, Randy. You're correct. But, it's just titled strategic goal because you're working a strategic plan, but it's your goals.
Incidentally, I went on the website this afternoon to look up strategic plan, and the one we got on there is 2022.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we updated them every year or every couple of years. I don't really
I think it's
remember.
every 3 or so.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I was gonna
We do.
read it, believe it or not, and I thought, well, that's kind of old.
You evidently had the power on at your place in today. This afternoon.
You didn't pay your bill?
I don't know. Was that a planned outage by PPL? Went off exactly at 2 and came on exactly at 4.
Well, ours kind of did that day before yesterday.
First one off at 120. They said they had can't remember the terminology, but during high fire danger, they go to enhance
Safety settings.
Yeah.
safety setting things.
Yeah.
And something with the wire somewhere and it tripped the system.
What I chuckled about the reporting that you get, they said that your power will be restored by 7 a.m. on July 8th.
They were right.
Yes.
My power was on by 7 a.m.
On July 8th. Yeah.
So whose was this?
That was the one I did.
That's yours?
And I don't have any ownership to those. They're just things I put down this
Okay.
thoughts.
So you're thinking this should be more of a, just like a guiding document rather than
I do.
a precise document.
I do.
I mean, that's good as long as there's, as long as we kind of sort it and prioritize
What's that?
prioritize what's gonna be worked on and.
Yeah, and it's good with the objectives to make them measurable.
Yeah.
You know, if we're gonna do this is different, I guess, than the goals the goals we worked on for the fire chief, because those need to be pretty specific as to, you know, what they are. These are more overarching of where do we want the organization to go over the next few years, you know?
Historically, I've seen strategic plans, they're in place 3 to 5 years with the base plan. And then as things change, you know, it can be adjusted appropriately.
Pretty good.
It's the same one was in one.
I guess.
So this was a plan that we did in 2022. So. Did I cut off the narrative? So the narrative is like a page and a half long, but you're missing a page of the narrative. I don't know why. But I wasn't gonna read you the narrative anyway. But then. That looks like I chopped up copy. Next to it, do that.
Do you need me to do double-sided?
Huh?
Does it need to be
I
double-sided?
tried to get it double sided.
You know, better than fiddle with a coffee machine, like.
It's pretty much all capital stuff. And I guess we don't want to put any type of capital expenditures ongoing for the future strategic plan. Do we want to, this is the old format, it's pretty much all purchase, with the exception of the renewing the levy. These are all a bunch of purchases. We don't need that in future strategic plan.
Attack.
And I had a bag. 3 1. They finally shut it off. They told me for several years. When
Okay, I apologize for that. We have some, better ones coming here shortly. Can we talk about, did we end up with the other documents?
the what?
Mission, vision and values?
Yeah, I thought that was for us.
Oh, we need them too.
Okay.
Why don't you bring those up for us and you can make more copies?
Thank you.
Can you go let Jenna know that you need copies of this? You can take one of these originals.
So basically, why don't we just go write down the current one where our vision, values, and see if those are still effective and if this is what we want to do. And then we'll move on to the other one that's being printed.
Okay,
Are we trying to create a plan again for a 3-year time frame typically, or what are we doing there here as far as?
you know, I've seen up to
Recurrent.
5 years, but that's hard for my brain to go out that far.
Would a 3-year work better for you,
I
Mike?
like a 3 year.
3 seems good to me.
Go with the 3-year.
Works for me.
So the mission statement is the Rogue River Fire District, and we'll change that name, is a combination career and volunteer organization providing fire protection, emergency medical, and other related services that meet the current and future needs of the community.
That's pretty all encompassing. It doesn't specifically go into each one of the things that we do, but the last statement is kind of the catch-all.
I like it. It's straight to the point. It's pretty simple. You know, we hope that our employees memorize our mission statement, so we want it to be memorizable. I would change the Rogue River Fire District to Jackson County Fire District 1. Okay with the rest of it?
Good with it? Good with it?
Move on. Okay, our vision statement. Our vision is to make a positive impact through efficient and effective service.
That's good for me.
Okay, we'll move on. Below that, we have values, and they use an acronym STARE, which is broken down into service, teamwork, accountability, integrity, and respect. And that it defines each one of those. Would you like me to read each one? So under service, we strive for excellence in the service we deliver through ongoing evaluation and improvement. Teamwork, we believe in teamwork through skillful communication and personal cooperation to achieve our common goals. Accountability, we are responsible as professionals for our actions. Integrity, we expect honesty, loyalty, and dedication. Respect, we practice mutual respect by setting a personal example of trust and fairness, recognizing the dignity of others.
Would the word training in services fit in anywhere that we strive for excellence in the service we deliver through ongoing training, evaluation, or some form of mention that we are continually trying to improve through training? I don't know, maybe not, but
We can certainly insert.
I don't know, discussion point.
Okay. And all of you are welcome to participate if you choose to. This is your strategic plan. So however you want to contribute to its development. Please do. Thank you, Dan. You too.
I don't know how you would word that, fit that in and make it fit nicely, but I know we do spend a lot of, time and energy in keeping the guys current and trained.
I can put the word training after after ongoing. Did you end up with a new one of these? I need one, Jenny.
I think community outreach would be a good one.
That's
to try and
fine.
fit in there too.
So does everybody like we strive for excellence in the service we deliver through ongoing training, evaluation, and improvement? It works.
Like value to training.
Okay.
So Cameron, say that again.
Well, yeah, what was that again?
Oh, I was saying, I think community outreach, if we could fit that in there as well, just for all, whether it's we're doing a training for little kids, or we're going to high school for a career day, or going to the movie stuff and working with the community in that way. I think getting our face out in the community and being visible to the people that we serve
Teamwork.
is huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, community.
We might have to put a C in the stairs.
Yeah, that's fine. We could put it in the statement under teamwork.
In teamwork.
You want to,
So basically, we would have under teamwork, we believe in teamwork through skillful communications, community involvement, and personal cooperation to achieve our common goals. Under accountability, we're responsible we're responsible as professionals for our actions. Integrity, we expect honesty, loyalty, and dedication.
And respect. The
Yeah.
last one?
Respect, we practice mutual respect by setting a personal example of trust and fairness, recognizing the dignity of all others.
That's good.
Those up there.
So our motto is leave it better than you found it.
I like that. I think it applies to everything.
I think our motto should be on our apparatus too.
If you guys are in tattoos, that might be a good get too.
Don't look at me.
So who's the one who used the key performance indicators? That you? On page 2, or is that you as well?
Under page 2,
Or the second from the back, second page from the back. The statements, course creation, overall vision, set goals, key performance indicators, supporting objectives.
oh, this, okay. Key performance indicators are,
Was that you? It's your.
they're basically checkpoints that are going.
Yeah, I know what they are. You're the author.
I don't have them.
He is the author.
He's the author of this.
Yes, I authored that.
Okay,
Yes.
John, okay, I just want to make sure. All right, so Emily's fosters the prepare for the retirement. Yeah,
What's that?
are you the last page, Rand?
So basically for this meeting, we've got, oh, you know what they did? They included this last page, that's goals for the chief.
Oh.
So that's an
That's an
addition.
old one.
I sure messed up my coffee and adventure today. I got a delegated, huh?
Okay. So yeah, so that one was from this morning's, of which Mike and I'll be getting together with all the ones that were submitted. We're gonna come up with the 5, that's a manageable number, and then we'll report back to the board.
Which ones are you talking about?
It's the very last page,
Yeah, no, those were with my,
those were yours.
yeah, third to the last page. And that page should go together.
Okay. So basically, that's this group. Here, we'll make this easy.
And I would say that perhaps that last one that I have on there about the taxing district stuff. Maybe we could probably move that one over to more immediate, because we talked about doing that right away, right?
Yeah, right
That could
away.
Move over to chief goals. I just included it there, that did this right after we talked about it.
No,
That isn't-
These are part of.
No, it isn't.
Plan. This is part of this.
It's part of the strategic goals.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay. Yeah, that could be, we can move that over there for discussion.
I think that's good, with the understanding that it probably won't be complete in a year, but it should be well on its way. Okay, so, did you want to go into these goals, one at a time? Or did you want to talk about the old strategic plan real quick?
Craig, you brought up the old strategic plan and it's formatted basically in a task format that Mike has completed. And again, like Mike is saying, do we want to go over the new items or did you want to have discussion on the last?
I think we pretty much completed everything on there, except for levy that we're working on.
We completed everything except for 4-person minimum staffing. And I think that's it. And I put comments next to each line item. On the standard.
Missing some pages. All right, well,
Yeah, that's,
I'm missing much of it.
yeah. We went.
I guess, at the end of the day, we're gonna, if it's probably gonna look something like this soon, right? We're gonna have some sorting.
I
maybe?
saw this one as a list of things we were gonna buy
Yeah.
and do building and apparatus and that type of thing. And I think that's an important checklist to have.
Yeah.
But I don't see it in my mind as a strategic plan.
Yeah.
Strategic plan is where we're gonna take the organization.
Yeah, I think the document you gave us is superior. So just trying to figure out how to put it in a format that makes sense and we can set timelines to or make
Well, I
it
think,
happen.
Craig, if you look at this page right here, that is
I'm looking.
goals that were given to us. I think we can, a good way to go about this is we should look at these and agree on either all of them or some of them. And then we don't have to do that tonight. I mean, the next part, we need to do like some subtopics of each goal.
Yeah.
And maybe that gets directed toward me.
That's a
To
good start.
provide for the next one. So I think at this point, we go over each goal and try to decide if everybody agrees to move forward with that particular goal.
And if there are any additional goals,
Yeah,
we can add those too, a lot more.
So, do you want to go over it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with this.
Okay, so goal number 1, actively work towards stable funding solutions. That's a great goal. I would describe that as probably our number 1 strategic problem. And something we need to put a lot of effort into trying to remedy. And the objective is explore alternative funding sources and opportunities to reduce cost of operations, explore possible mergers, consolidations, contracting services, reduction of rolling stock, utilization of volunteers, etc.
And I'd add in there, and I don't know why I didn't put it in there, was, our levy rate.
And I think all of those are valid objectives toward completing that goal.
And basically, one of the things that I'll use the analogy of a broad paintbrush, and by these large categories, like with the obtaining stable funding, that's the broad paintbrush. Gives Mike the opportunity to be the individual with the fine detailed paintbrush to come up with the how we're going to do it. And that, and moves on from there. And that's where the communication between the board and the chief will be very vital.
And I
For you.
could use, yes, and I could use the things you pretty much spelled out.
Yeah.
So we're good with that one?
Yeah.
So the next one is improve firefighter health and safety.
And the reason I put in that is it seems like I'm reading more and more about cancers, firefighter cancers and stuff. And for some reason, PTSD and those things, the number of folks that I went through my career with are suffering tremendously. And I don't have the answers to why, but I think we need to be cognizant of it as an organization and say we want to protect our people. And I don't have specifics how to do that. The only thing I could supply is a review our compliance with firefighting safety and health, NFPA 1500. And
I also added the employee action plan, review that, see if that's adequate.
The other thing too is I know the union has a lot of information on those programs and everything too, so it'd be a good resource to share that information. Fiscal information.
Okay,
We have an employee assistance plan.
yes. Part of our health,
but hopefully there's things that we can do organizationally to keep from getting to the point that they need the assistance plan, and staying aware of current trends and information. And, you know, if somebody would have had any idea 30 years ago, that foam was a problem, would have helped a lot.
Would have helped a lot.
Wasn't there some legislation or some state or something that if firefighters get lung cancer, they're automatically covered?
There's a presumptive, there's several types of cancer that are presumptive that, I mean, you got it on the job if you got that.
Even if they were smoking 2 packs a day?
Well, I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's presumptive.
You know, firefighter, health and safety folks, whatever that organization is called. Do they ever do an inspection or whatever, like OSHA?
Well, OSHA does,
So they would be checking some of this, see that we're up to date.
Oregon OSHA is more geared toward, my opinion, okay, more geared towards, and maybe this has changed, it's more geared towards looking for guards on the grinder and you're wearing safety glasses and wearing chaps when you run a chainsaw and that type of thing than they are the mental and physical aspects of doing the job long term.
And that would fall.
We are getting an OSHA inspection. We invited them in, kind of for in August, and we're gonna look at our programs and documentation. I don't know to what level. But that visit is more advisory in nature. But we'll learn from that for sure.
We're trying to get 3 total OSHA. So we had the one that you spoke of where they look for hazards around the department. Next one, my chief said, is going to look at specific programs, training, all that. And then the third one that will be coming in at some point, haven't scheduled the date yet, will be ergonomics. So looking at lifting, the things that we do every day and how we can improve that health-wise, posture-wise, whatever, to help improve the fitness that way.
I think the other thing that would be helpful is also review of our current policies and procedures, such as how are our current debriefings after a critical incident? Are we, providing that whatever is necessary for the employee,
Is counseling available?
counseling, all
If
those.
they want to.
Yeah,
If they need
but
it.
just the open communications and see that our policies aren't in conflict of what we need to be doing.
Back on the health and safety, do our insurers have any oversight on what we do? I know in my industry, OSHA comes in and sets a guideline, and our insurance people come in and raise the bar. I mean, they're typically even more concerned about injuries and equipment issues and stuff than OSHA ever could be. I don't know if it applies in this.
We did have, our insurance was until recently, a year or so ago, through SDAO, and they did have folks that came in and did annually walk through and do it. The cost of insurance got too high for them to bear the rate, and so we're back through Safe Corporation, I believe, is our workman's comp carrier now. So it's the state of Oregon, and I don't know the answer how proactive they are. And
They definitely give us, don't they give us like guidelines and training on stuff?
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
So so we have a chaplain, right? That's available,
We use a county chaplain
county chaplain. Do we have any type of counseling available for people if they need it
through the EAP program. Oh, you're talking about after a call?
after call?
That would be a critical incident stress debriefing,
Yeah.
and we can make a phone call and get counseling down here.
Do you have a protocol for when you go down that road?
No, it's kind of a case by case
Case by
basis.
case. Have you had to use it?
I've been to a few of them.
So it's available.
who can make that call?
I would think anybody on the call could make the call. Certainly the shift officer can make the call, but one of them could request it. And then it would go to the shift officer, would make a phone call to the chaplains association, and then it would happen.
Do we have a guideline or a policy that kind of outlines that? for our employees of how to go about seeking assistance?
We do.
But I know I'm on probation, so my opinion's maybe
Very
less.
Not tonight, Mr. Knott.
I do have a lot of respect for you guys for adding this in here. I think that goes a long way. I will add, I think cancer is super important, mental health is super. Number one killer, unfortunately, of firefighters is cardiovascular disease. So just another element of maybe adding in that would be just like improvement to physical health or something along those lines. It will go along with it.
Or Jax.
You put physical and mental health.
Maybe so we don't have a document right now that says we encourage people to use the gym, to eat healthy, to obviously pass their physicals. You have anything like that, that's part of our policies, that this is how we're gonna support you?
We don't have a policy that requires you to use the gym. We offer the time during the day. It's really a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So we try to, they get an hour a day to work out during normal business hours. And I have said to everybody, I'd like you to make that your first hour of the day, because typically they do it at 4 o'clock, but by then you got a stack of charts on your desk and other things, and it's easy not to do that. But yeah, it's a culture thing. I think some shifts do it better than others.
Is there anything else we could do for mitigate cancer risk? Now we have SCBA's, we keep our turnouts down, clean them a lot. Any other?
How about we do this, Craig? Let's go with the goals and identify the goals, and then we can get into the specific
Dive down.
of each individual goal and dive down into that. And the other thing too, is this will also give the chief the opportunity to go through, look at these goals, and in conjunction with his staff, be able to address it, come back to the board with their input and everything, where they've had a chance to, research things and everything like that.
This process is gonna take a couple months.
That's
the plan.
we're not gonna get a whole
Yeah.
strategic plan done in one night tonight,
No,
but
plan that.
if we as the board can come up with the general goals and we're in agreement with the general goals, then that gives Mike and his staff the opportunity to prepare the strategic plan.
Okay, the next one is enhance employee professional development. Review, develop, or enhance employee professional program, review position descriptions, and develop flow chart for all personnel. Encourage and promote participation and outside training.
One of the,
I think that's well stated, and we can break that down definitely in the individual elements that would support that.
everybody in concurrence with that one?
PJ told me that he needs a pathway lined out for him to the chief's position. So, preferably within 6 months.
Okay, the next one is create and promote fire safe community. I think that's a good one, and I can come up with a number of elements to support that.
And I actually, on that, tried to keep from using wildland or interface or anything, because I think it's more overreaching than that. We want to work at all aspects of a fire safe, or what I consider a fire safe community. But identify and record performance measures for the district's fire and life safety program. Because I'm not sure, you've done a good job of telling us how many home inspections you've done each month and that, but I'm not sure we know all the effort that goes in things. And so, you know, if we had
Would it be helpful?
something that measured it, said, you know, our goal is to be able to do this many inspections and meet with this many kids in the classroom or whatever and do it. And I know it's in the reports. I just don't know that we press it enough.
Would it be helpful in the strategic plan if there was a explanation of the program, what components that the program
What
consists of?
programs we currently have that they're doing this.
Okay. Good. I need to
I'll
give it,
leave it open.
I need to give it some thought, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not commenting much.
and maybe it doesn't belong in there too, so.
Continue to be community provider of ambulance services. Some of these people back here would probably like to get rid of the ambulance. They've never actually said that. Yeah, this is a good one.
And if. And maybe we should have that discussion. I mean, you bring that up, but that is one way to do it. The impression I get from everybody in the community is they want the ambulance service here. And provided by this department, not doing that.
Not a for-profit entity or
Not one,
not a for-profit entity
right?
anymore.
Maybe on the flip flop of that, Jim, we can look at ways of expanding the program. And, you know, maybe through a cooperative relationship with District 3 to go further in from that Gold Hill station. That would then generate additional revenues for us through our medic program. And I mean, explore other options to
I hate to
support the
bring this up, but we could consider things like community medicine.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys heard of, King County One out of Washington?
Yeah.
And that could solve that problem and the working towards stable funding. Their ambulance is in their own taxing district, so their ASA is a tax district. So rather than having or a program they sign up for firemen, other than having firemen that we get 1% capture of the total population on, it can be expanded out at a very low rate to get 100% capture of both our tax district as well as
The
Wyman.
the big benefit of that, and there are several of them in Oregon. The big benefit of that is everybody in this ASA pays to support the service. Obviously, currently, we provide ambulance services outside. The ASA is bigger than our fire district by a lot. And so folks within the fire district, in my opinion, wind up subsidizing the service. Doing it. That's a really tough subject to talk to our neighbors about. Because they don't want to see it. The other thing to get into is it would be managed by it would be its own special district, taxing district. It would have its own board of directors. That board of directors would look at the ASA bids and choose a service provider. We may not be it. They may. And so be it, but that's one of the things you gotta watch. The other thing is, Oregon has passed a tax limitation a number of years ago. And when you exceed that $10 per thousand, I think it is, or 15 for all governmental services, then everybody takes less. So there's a possibility we could wind up hurting the fire service by forming another taxing district, which would reduce the amount we can collect to support the fire service. So it's a cool concept to look at and explore, but you got to look at the whole thing when you do it.
But currently, our ambulance service supports itself. Would you agree with that statement? Our revenues match our expenditures pretty close.
Yeah. I do agree with it, but I also recognize that if the ambulance service went away, half our people would go away,
Exactly.
you know? And so in that realm, it's a symbiotic relationship that helps each other.
We're better
Lets us have the fire department we have because of that service. It's close. It's close.
When I applied for the ambulance service plan, the 5-year plan through Jackson County, I had to demonstrate to them that the ambulance service was not supporting the fire.
Well,
That'd be pretty easy.
it wasn't even close until we got that GEMT
Right.
thing. So
Yeah.
what, I mean, it was not close at all. What guarantees that will never change? Is that a guaranteed forever thing? Is that renew?
GEMT,
Yeah,
we don't know what it's gonna do from month to month.
It's a mystery.
that's what I say. So I mean, there was a time that the ambulance service was really difficult for us to maintain cost wise. So there's some unknowns out there still.
Okay? Any more on ambulance service?
What, is this alternate contract providers you mentioned?
No, okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And then that's really our billing. Currently, we contract out our billing services. I don't have a feel for, I bet most of us don't.
It's like $20 a,
How much, what's our percentage of collections on that? In other words, we turn over $1,000 to them. What's our return on that? You know, are they industry wide, it's about 52%.
oh, are you talking about people that go into collections?
No, I'm talking about how much do they collect of what we give them to bill? And there's some real important factors in there and, you know, it's, how soon they bill is a big one, after the service, because for motor vehicle accidents and that type of thing where you exceed limits, first in get paid, everybody else doesn't, you know, if you exceed the limits of the policy. And so my thought was, are we watching this? Do we know what our percentage of collection is from submittals? And do we know, are we doing a good job of getting the information to our contractor? Are they doing a good job of getting that bill out in a timely fashion? Are they doing a good job on follow-up and eventually collections? Yeah. Is there money sitting there that we're not getting?
Yeah.
You know, are we watching it close?
How often do we send the data package up to him to Bill?
One every month.
So it's just
Yeah,
done-
we have to
done
wait for
monthly?
everybody to finish their charts for the month before we can send it on to the bill. But, to be
When
honest.
you get the information back from the billing company,
Mhm.
does it break down to you of what they were able to collect, what are uncollectibles, and all of those
Yeah,
type things?
they send me monthly reports.
Does this pop up in our annual audit? Is there any way, any traceability there?
The amount certainly does, but I don't think the methodology getting there.
So there wouldn't be anything with flagging to say, hey, you guys are screwing up here.
Yeah,
What I would, and they, what got me thinking of this is, I'm not sure where Medicaid's going. And we have, and this is probably running down a rabbit hole here, then I'm going to, we have a fair amount of our runs that are Medicaid patients. Are we going to see an effect in the next 3 years on Medicaid collection? Which got me to thinking, well, I don't know what our current collection rate is to be able to compare in a year.
I'm sure we are, if what they say is gonna happen does, we'll have fewer patients that can pay.
So let me ask a question here. We're getting kind of down into the minutia right now. Is this more of a information to the board type thing you would be looking for, Jim? Because it sounds like we're getting monthly reports from this. Maybe on a quarterly basis, backing those monthly reports, to be shared with the
Back
board.
and shared. I think that'd be one, strategy with it. I think another is, maybe if we knew what our percentages are of collections, looking at other services that are similar and who's doing their billing and are they getting a higher percentage or a lower percentage? We've been with this current provider, this current contractor for 5 years,
As a department.
longer than that. I mean, Nikki used to do all the billings and then, yeah, it's longer than that, it's before I was on the board. They, contracted the billing out, and I think that's a good thing because but I'd like to know that we're getting the best bang for the buck from this provider. And, is there somebody else out there that's getting a higher return?
Possible resource for this would be call SDAO and see if they know of the different companies that are doing it. Because I know when we were up at the trade shows, there was a number of them that were trying to
Yeah,
market.
there's a number of different companies that do it.
That's interesting.
Right. How about, let's move on from the ambulance?
Prepare for retirement of current chief. So I think that's about 3 years out. I know I've been a little wishy-washy on that lately, but I think that's about 3 years out.
You think it's 3 years out?
Yeah.
No, I'll take that one out of there then. And the reason I put that in was that's about a 6-month process. When you start it and you go, so, I don't want it to be caught.
Yeah.
With a behind the ball.
So the next one is all properties receiving fire response to be in a taxing district.
And I think we took the possibility of moving that to your goal
Okay.
to get that one done and take it out of here.
That goes through Jim's list. John, do you have any thoughts or things you'd like to see added?
The thing that we probably already haven't talked about it. I don't know who we go to on the short-term CDs.
Looks like if we're in the state investment pool, that we were getting about 4.6%. So
Better than nothing.
pretty good.
Yeah, how much?
4.6 is what they're saying right now, recently. So they're doing better than my CDs are.
Yeah.
These would have to be, I'm not an expert on these things, I just brought my wife down. Where you can draw it out without a penalty.
Yeah.
Just thought, it's better than leaving it in the bank and doing nothing.
And maybe we want to put something like periodically, annually, or whatever, periodically review investment opportunities to, make sure that we're getting the best return we can.
Can we put that under the first one? Stable funding solution?
Yep.
Would that be an item we can discuss with that? Anything else, Kevin?
Nothing that would fly.
Randy?
Just the points we brought up, and I've added a couple of thoughts to that, and that's what I have.
Great.
Create, promote a fire safe community. I think that a lot can be done with that.
How about the troops?
A couple of them that I have, and it probably goes along with the, was it the promote fire safe community, but just community outreach in general. Whether that be, public education and outreach, doing the open houses or, actually having events for, instead of going to people's houses to do, one of our fire inspections around their house, have, something set up around, even if we landscape around the station. And say, hey, this is what it should look like around your house, like a demonstration, come out, come visit us. Hey, here's a hot dog on that new grill that you want the hot dog off of. Getting into campaigns with our community, whether it's a social media campaign, everybody's on social media these days, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Everybody's online for the most part, or connected somehow. So we expanded even beyond Facebook, or we're more active on Facebook with those online things, and then increasing community preparedness. I know Ashland has like CERT, the citizen people that go out and help. So even if we can't improve the volunteer program, maybe we can get the community involved in that way. Advisory boards, reaching out, building partnerships with local businesses, governments, landowners, people like that, being more visible in our community. Along the lines of training, big one for us would be, we could, if we do, I like where we're at now. We've got,
Cameron, before you move on to
Yes, sir.
training. Everything you brought up, I put under create and promote fire safe community
Okay.
goal. And I added social media, community outreach, community preparedness. Did I catch them?
How about we throw in community participation? And this might clarify the volunteer aspect of it. We're not looking at the volunteer firefighter, but that could address a CERT group. It could address citizens that want to be an auxiliary to support us on a fire ground, something like that.
Well, it
So community involvement.
didn't get into here, and they could be. They are on the list for consideration for the chief's goals. The, like social media, increased presence in social media and,
I think in a lot of ways they're synonymous with one another.
yeah, I think that
Where we need in the strategic plan to outline what we want the chief or we desire the organization to go. And then that way, that would go and help guide the chief on his goals. Make sense?
Okay, go on with training. And before you go on with training, I'm gonna try to plug it under one of these topics, or we can make a new topic. Well, just tell me what's on your mind and we'll figure it out.
well, big one for training, and then probably go under the professional development, the employee professional development. Would be, we have a good group of guys and girls working with us now, the fire department. However, in the past, we've had turnovers and having to replace people. Big one for us would be, like more of a formal academy, if we can do something along those lines. That way, at the end of those 2 weeks of that month, they're all signed off, they plug into.
So when you're saying a formal academy, are you talking like an orientation academy? Are you talking something down into the nuts and bolts as a firefighter 2 academy? What's,
So as far as our firefighters, we hire them, whether they have their, they're going to move firefighter 1 and their EMT basic level. And then we put them through training, make sure that they know our routes, so they have to be cleared on every apparatus. We put them through a firefighter skills task out where they do 5 different skills for firefighters. They do pumping so that they can pump on all of our apparatus, pumping, drafting, all the different things we do. And if we accomplished all that at the front load of their probationary period, whether that's 2 weeks, a month, whatever it is, the remainder of their academy, they can spend focusing on good patient care, getting more familiar with the apparatus, and we could actually spend more time just evaluating them on all of
So expedite the task book completion.
Yeah, versus, kind of like I think Chief mentioned at some point, I think it was with the working out, 4 o'clock comes around, okay, let's go train. Well, shoot, I'm 5 charts deep. Sorry, bud, I'm gonna focus on this right now, and we'll do it next to it, I guess. And instead of stuff getting pushed off. And I think it'd be more beneficial to our probationary firefighters as well. And again, that's one of those random things that if we have a hiring practice for,
so basically copy our partners in law enforcement, where it'd be a field training program where when they are hired, they have to complete the program. So then they can work
yeah,
independently.
kind of like a paramedic getting that test in the.
Are you talking about the task book, completing the task book, or are you talking about doing a recruit academy with a couple of new?
Yeah, a recruit academy, so.
Yeah, so we did that a couple times. We did it. The results of doing that are wonderful. You have new people that are very well trained. They focus on academy stuff. The benefits are great. The problem with it is you have to hire 2 or 3 people at a time. which we often don't have that luxury. We typically hire one person at a time. But if we can do it, it's very valuable.
And why can't one person, it just takes too much
A lot of resources.
staff time to justify doing it for one person? Is that?
No, we're gonna train that one person. We're gonna use staff time to do it, but it wouldn't be like an official academy where they're gonna be doing 5 days a week. They're gonna go on shift and they're gonna get trained by their shift.
Yeah.
And the task book is what you're using for guidance when they're being trained on shift.
And they're required to get that task book signed off for the year.
Anything else?
Another one would be, expanding our, and it might go along kind of with like a volunteer, but expanding our student firefighter program. If we did that over the course of 3 years, we have 2 students right now, I believe. I know that RCC is adding, I instructed RCC for the EMT programs. They're adding trying to add a second paramedic program this year, as well as additional EMT classes are getting added all the time. There's a plethora of future EMTs or prospective EMTs out there that, if nothing else, could, if they only want to be EMTs, we could plug them in on the box. And that frees up another firefighter that's not driving, or help them. And now when they go to apply at Mercy Flights, AMR, or even here in the future in a single role, they now have experience and a resume that they can go with, other than I graduated high school and here's my EMT certificate.
So it's not a student program for just EMT in addition to our current student program.
Yeah, if we did like an EMT or medic program student as well as a fire student, so they're both going to be EMTs at the basic level. But if we had students that desired to go to paramedic, once they got into that paramedic class, they would have some EMT experience under their belts as well. Patient care in the back of the ambulance, helping out on those critical calls. And then not only are we helping ourselves develop people in the future, but we're helping our partners around us get good quality candidates. And I think that we have a great opportunity as a department to do that, split off that way.
And these students would be EMS only?
Yeah, we could do a fire student and an EMS student, which would bring it to a potential of 6, I guess.
How much does, so I know we buy, like, we pay tuition, some of these students, right? And we also buy boots and turnouts with it. They don't get hand-me-downs, but they don't get a stipend, do they?
That I don't know. I was never a student.
They're basically volunteers.
As a student at District 3, I did not get a stipend.
Don't
So it's
we
a
get-
good,
$60.
so it's a really good part for us. They're getting a great experience.
Don't forget to look into that Morris Foundation if it's a student from one of the participating schools, because that's a good freebie.
We budget funded for 4? 3.
And then, sorry.
10,000 apiece.
Good point. Good. Chief, do you have any items that you would like to add to this?
No, not offhand, but I might come up with some.
I'm gonna go through your list.
My list is kind of more generic on the planning thing. A lot of the items that I was gonna bring up have been brought up. We've brought them up in discussion, and Mike's made them down in notes, and I think that we should allow Mike the opportunity now to go back with the general goals and come up with some, how to get there, what we're going to do, fine tune it and everything. And we have one more meeting to discuss this and everything, and we can move forward from there. When you go to put this together, I'm happy to help you in any way. Any other questions or comments?
Well, on the, actively working to find stable funding solutions, I think we need better projections where we're gonna be in 3 or 4 years. Now, we've worked on that a little bit, but how do you feel about being able to provide the board with, this is where I think I'm gonna be in 5 years?
So I did that once and it went pretty well. I provided it to all of you, but I left some things out, so try to do it again. Where I get confused is how you put where you bring in revenue forward, how you. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do broad categories, revenue, personnel services, materials and services. And then I can figure out averages and then march it forward 2 years. I overthought it, so I think I can do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with cash carry forwards and those kind of things. I'd keep it basic to, here's what it's costing us to run this thing. Here's the money we're bringing in.
Yeah.
When do those lines drop?
Exactly. Really, 10,000 foot view, are we making, because we don't have a whole lot of time if we get underwater. Correctly.
But I think it's critical that we have that, because if we go out for an increase on the levy, it'd be nice to be able to tell people, you know, our estimates are in 2028, we're gonna have to start reducing service levels because we can't continue after that point to provide it this thing, or whatever that date is, you know.
Right, any other comment? Did the 5 o'clock meeting following the board meeting work okay for everybody's schedule? Shall we schedule another meeting following next month's? And would that give you time to work on the goals?
I'll be gone.
Hmm?
I won't be here.
That's in the.
I think, why don't I take a stab at this and bring it to the next board meeting? And, we can reschedule a workshop if you want, but I think that we can probably do it in a board meeting.
Why don't we just plan it? That's a good idea. But let's have a meeting scheduled for 5, but we can always cancel it. Or do you just not want to? I'm fine with having one scheduled, because if we get into some discussions, let's say on the levy type thing, it could be kind of lengthy and everything.
Okay,
And
okay, so next board meeting, we'll schedule 1 at 5,
What's the date of our next board meeting?
what date?
Guess I can look.
August 18th. And earlier we talked about keeping that agenda pretty light. When we talk about local option levy, but we're pretty far in front of that levy. Greg, if you go to the Jackson County website under Department Emergency Management, it has their evacuation.
Yeah, I thought I read that. It didn't seem like it was real specific. Read it again.
When do you say the date was?
August 13th.
I would just as soon grind through them in the mornings personally, if we can, and not have to schedule at 5 o'clock, but I can do a 5 o'clock if it's needed.
Yeah, I'd like to get
My
through.
brain works better,
I'd like to get through in the morning.
my brain works better than it. But it's up to you guys. I'll be here all day.
Let's give it a try.
let's see if we can power through in the morning.
One meeting.
Any other items that came up that we need to talk about after the agenda was posted?
I listened to the minutes and you guys did not, you, appointed chief as budget officer and board clerk.
And I
My
don't
name-
want to be both.
Yeah, my name wasn't mentioned. That's why I was like, I didn't hear my name, but
That wasn't nice of us.
That's, I brought that up, but I didn't think we.
I thought I heard her name. Yes.
I don't know. if you wanted
We
to-
will need to address that as an agenda item in the next board meeting, of which we will take care of.
So we have currently appointed the chief as the board clerk and the budget officer.
And if you don't bring it up, I'll remind you.
I'll bet you would.
Thank all of you for joining us.
And,
I appreciate that.
if we don't capture everything that went through, for the next meeting, try to get things written down on a handout so that we have it. I can't write as fast as you talking. Trouble thinking that fast. But if I have it I can see it, I can digest it a little better.
That's why I went to auctioneer school to learn about that.
Hour and 10 minutes is pretty good.
We adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
I got
What would work for you?